Yeah, folks, we'll start with the session now. See, in the last class, we started with the comparable. Yeah, I want to open the document first, then we will look at. See this. Okay, we are discussing about how to sort the elements, right? Sorting the elements of a list. Okay, so guys, to sort the elements of a list, what we have to call the sort method of collections class. You know already collections dot sort method. Okay, there is a simple example I gave here. First you add all the strings to the array list object, then you can call the sort method. Okay, then you will get the sorting list, then you can display the sorting list. That is what the code is. So which method we called here? Sort method of the collections class is called. Okay, and now if suppose you want to sort the elements of employee, because they are not strings, right? They are employee objects, so you cannot sort the elements of type employee or of type customer, of type orders directly, provided if a class implements comparable interface. Okay, right? Now if I write employee like this, now these are not comparable elements. To make them as comparable elements, I have to implement my class from an interface called comparable. I told in the last class, interface contains public static final variables and public abstract methods. I repeat my statement once again. Interface contains public static final variables and public abstract methods. Okay, right. All the variables are static and final, and also the methods are abstract methods by default in the interface. Interface does not contain concrete methods. Okay, interface only contain abstract methods. We will implement the interface into the class. We will implement an interface into the class. That class will override the abstract methods. Okay, and if any method it is not overriding, any abstract method, if that class is not overriding, then we will make that class as abstract class. Okay, right. If I sort like this is what I told. What happens here? If I say collections dot sort, it will give an error. Okay, so we are going to look at about this, because employee class does not implement comparable interface. These are not comparable elements. So actually our intention is we want to know about who is comparable. Okay, see, observe here. Today I'm going to start from here. Today I'm going to start from this point. I just want to write the interface name here. That interface name is comparable. We are discussing about comparable interface. Comparable of E interface. Nothing but generic type. All generics only now. All collections are generic types. It is an interface actually. Okay. It has only one abstract method. Comparable interface contains only one abstract method. Okay. The one abstract method, it is also actually called as functional interface. In Java, if an interface contains only single abstract method, it is called functional interface. If an interface contains only one abstract method, then it is called functional interface. Everybody. Okay. If it contains more abstract methods, it is normal interface. If that does not contain any abstract method, it's called marker interface. At the time of interfaces, I have given three statements. There are three types of interfaces in Java. One is called what? Normal interfaces. Second one is called what? Functional interfaces. Third one is called as what? Marker interfaces. Okay, it is a functional interface. You will discuss about functional interface in Java 8 features after these collections. We'll try to complete collections as fast as possible. Then we'll enter into Java 8 features. Okay, at that time we'll discuss about what is functional interface. But generally, as a definition, what if an interface contains a single abstract method, it is called functional interface. If it contains more than one abstract method, it's normal interface. If it contains nothing, it is empty, that is marker interface. Three types. I have given already these things at the time of interfaces topic. You can refer that interfaces notes. Okay, right. Just I'm recapping now, guys. Yeah, what I'm saying here, it is a functional interface. It is a functional interface. Okay, function interface, and it has one abstract method. There's one abstract method, okay, called, that abstract method name is compare to. Okay, which is called compare to. The method name is compare to. Compare to method returns, okay, compare to method returns integer value. It is basically used to compare what? One object with the other object, like one string with other string, one integer with other integer, or one employee with other employee. And basically it returns either a positive integer value or negative integer value or 0. If for example, okay, for example, let's say for example, to understand it, for example, I'm writing like this now: e1 dot, e1 is an employee, dot get employee number, which returns employee number, okay, minus e2 dot get employee number. E1 is a first employee object, e2 is a second employee object. If a first employee number is greater than second employee number, we'll get a positive integer value. If the first employee number is smaller than second employee number, we'll get negative integer value. If both employee numbers are same, for example, of course we don't get both employee numbers are same mostly, then we'll get value 0. Compare to method will compare like this now. Okay, for example, comparing employee numbers. If a first employee number is more than second employee number, returns positive integer. If the first employee number less than second employee number, returns negative integer. Correct? Negative integer. If you want to compare in salaries, then what you write? E1 dot get salary minus E2 dot get salary. That is to compare based on what salaries. Okay, this is to compare based on employee numbers. Finally, what we can say, compare to method returns integer value. It doesn't return the double value. It returns integer value only. For example, if the first employee number is more than second employee number, we'll get a positive integer. Then it will internally sorting will be done like E2 comes first, E1 comes next. Because E2's employee number is less than E1's employee number. In the ascending order, what happens? Employee 2 will come on top, employee 1 will come on bottom, because of employee 1 number is more than employee 2 number. For example, if I want to compare on salaries, then what I say? E1 dot get salary minus E2 dot get salary. If a second employee has less salary, first employee has more salary, then what happens? Second employee will get on top, first employee will get on bottom. Okay, am I clear with this, guys? Did you understood about how we are going to compare now? Am I clear with this now? Okay, right. Yeah, Sujay is saying yes. Anybody else can say yes or no?
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay. Oh, yeah, cool. So compare to method basically returns what? Integer value. I'll write one pointer. Okay, compare to method returns integer. Compare to method returns an integer value. Returns an integer value. Okay, if that integer value, if integer value is positive, okay, if integer value is positive, then the first object value is greater than second object. Right? If integer value is positive, what does it mean? First object is greater than second object. Either maybe employee number is greater or salary is greater, whatever you are comparing. The integer value is positive, then first object value or first object is greater than second object. Then what happens if first object is greater than second object? They will interchange, because I mean it will come on, second object will come on top, first object will go to bottom because of order in the sorting order. Okay, if it's positive, then the first object is greater than second object. If integer value is negative, then the first object is less than second object. First object is less than second object. Okay, if integer value is what? For example, if integer value is 0, what does it mean? If integer value is 0, then both objects are same. Both objects are same. Am I clear? That's how this will go on. Okay. Compare to method will work in this way. Okay. So what to do now? If I want to, for example, if I want to make the any class objects as comparable objects, I need to implement that class from comparable interface. Already that point I have written on top. Comparable. Comparable is an interface right here. String class implements
Yes.
comparable. If a class implements comparable interface, then that class elements becomes comparable. Okay, that class becomes objects of that class becomes comparable elements. So we have to implement what? Comparable. Let's see how we can do it with the example. So we'll start with our workspace. Okay, guys. As I said already in the last class, we just have something called as employee class. Employee class implements what? Comparable. Which method we are overriding here? Compare to method we have to override. Okay. Currently I'm having an error here, line number 9. Why? Because I'm implementing this interface, but I'm not overriding this. You can see the error at line number 9. What should I do? I have to override the method. Which method I need to override? That is called compare to method I need to override. So I will override at the bottom here in the class. Inside the class of employee, I'm overriding a method called what? Compare to. I told just now compare to method returns what? Integer value. So what I'm writing is return this dot. This means current object. This refers first object. And parameter O refers second object. This dot get employee number minus O dot get employee number. Who is this now? This refers the, let us say this means current object. While calling the compare to method, if for example compare to method is called on E1 dot compare to of E2. For example, this is all sort method will do internally like this now. For example, it is calling like this internally. E1 first object dot compare to of E2. Okay. Tell me who is this now? Tell me who is this now? If this method is called like this, who is this now? This means, you know who is this? This means current object.
Current object.
Yeah, who is the current object calling this compare to method? Who is the current object calling this compare to method? Who is the current object calling this compare to method? That is E1. That is E1 is the current object calling this method compare to, right? This means E1. What is the object I am passing here? E2. Means O means E2. Parameter is O. O means E2. Okay, internally collections or sort method will do this. We are not doing that. Internally sort method will do this. Okay, next it will sort. For example, E1 is less than E2. Next it is going to sort. It is going to compare E2 and E3. How? E2 dot comparative of E3. So who is going to be E1? Sorry, who is going to be E2? Who is going to be E3? E2 will become now this. E3 will become O. Because now this time compare to method is called with E2. This means E2. O is E3. Next internally collections or sort method will sort. Will compare E3 with E4. E3 dot compare to of E4. This is internal logic. Now this time who is this now? E3. Who is O now? E4. So internally what collections or sort method will do is it will compare E1 and E2, E2 and E3, E3 and E4, E4 and E5, E5 and E6 like that. Now did you understand this logic? Internal work. Okay, who is this now in the first case? While comparing like this E1 and E2. While comparing E1 and E2, who is this now? E1.
E1.
Who is O? E2. And while comparing E2 and E3,
E2 is
internally,
this.
E2 will be this now, E3 will be O. While comparing E3 and E4, tell me first. While comparing E3 and E4,
E3 is this.
E3 will be the this and E4 will be the O. Correct? Correct, yes, everyone? Right? So this is how, yeah, yeah. Good, good, good. So tell me on what basis I want to compare my employees now? On which property? Employee numbers. Employee contains, according to this example, employee has what and what properties? Employee has number,
Employee
name, salary,
name,
experience,
salary,
gender.
experience.
Gender. I want to sort them on employee numbers. Even if I want, I can sort them on salaries. I can sort them on names. I can sort them on experience, or I can sort them on gender also. Correct? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But currently I'm sorting on what? Employee numbers. So what I'm writing, this dot employee number minus O dot get employee number. Am I clear with this now? This is called compare to method. Now? Okay. Cool. Cool.
Repeat once again.
Now I just want to write SOP after sorting the list of employees. Now SOP system dot out dot println. What I want to write is employees after sorting on employee numbers. EMPNOs after sorting on employee numbers. So how can I display this list now? We can use for each loop for
Yes, sir.
employee E colon LST. You know this already how to write for each loop. System dot out
Yes,
dot
sir.
println. System dot out dot println of E.
E.
Okay, let's see. Even I want separator. So system dot out dot println of line separator. I want to run this program. So as you can see, if you see the employee numbers now 1211, 14, 16, 18, 18, 25, 28, 29, 32. Nothing but on what basis these are sorted? On what basis these
Employee number.
employee number? If you see the salary, first employee has 4,500, third employee has 4,000 only,
Yes, sir.
right? Second employee has 9,000 here, but this employee has 6,500, 6,100 only, which means what? They are not sorted on salaries basis. They are sorted on employee numbers. That's not an employee number. This is how we can do the sorting. This is how we can do the sorting. Next step. For example, in the same example, I want to sort based on, I repeat once again, I want to sort based on salaries now, not on the employee numbers. Based on salaries, I want to sort the employees, right? In that case, I need to modify my logic now. Is the logic here?
Sir.
Right? Yes. What should I do here? This dot. I have to
Yes,
change here,
sir.
not employee numbers, no salaries, right? Get salary minus
And
O dot get
yes, sir.
salary. Why I'm getting error is salary is a double variable. If I subtract the employee 1 salary with employee 2 salary, I'm getting a double value. But the return type is what here?
Int.
Int. That's why we need to do typecasting. Int of this dot get salary. I'm keeping this entire thing in parenthesis and also int in parenthesis. Both I should keep in parenthesis. First, what I'm saying now, calculate this value. You will get double value. I know that it is going to be a double. Now convert it into integer. That's what typecasting.
Yes, sir.
That's what typecasting. Okay. Because why we are typecasting is because of return type is integer. What is the return type of compared to method? Return type is what? Int.
Int.
That's why. That's why. Am I cool? Can we run this program now? We'll run
Yes,
this
sir.
program. Yes. Yes. You can see here, guys. If you look at the employees now, are they sorted on employee numbers? Check it.
No. No.
Am I clear, everyone? Are they sorted on
Yes,
employee
sir.
numbers? No.
No. No.
Are they sorted on what? Salaries.
Salary.
Salaries. They are sorted on what? They are sorted on salaries. Clear? Salaries 4,000, 4,500, 5, 6, 6, 5, 6, 9, 8, 9. So this is based on what? Salaries. Okay, right. So I just want to copy this code for you. Please, first you run this example based on employee numbers. Next you convert into salaries. Next you convert into gender, or you convert into experience. Just what is the change? You have to change the logic here. If you know how to change the logic here, then the same example you can try for 3-4 times. Okay. Now currently tell me this code is sorting the employees. Okay, this program is a array list with custom objects and sorting them on salaries. This is the code now. Just will copy. I'll copy this code for you. Please go through this code. I'll keep into the document. You know how to sort based on salaries. You know how to sort based on employee numbers now. Based on salaries, based on experience. Just only one method logic you have to change. Which method logic you have to change, guys? You have to change the logic of which method is compare to method. Which method? Compare to method.
Compare to method.
Yes. 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 Cool. This is the code, guys. Okay, this is a code for you. Next. Okay. You know how to sort the elements of custom objects like employees or customers. If suppose there is a customer, I want to sort the customers based on city. Customer has a property like customer ID, customer name, zip code, pin code, city, like that. I want to sort all the customers based on their cities. Can we do can we do sorting of the customers? I have an array list of customers. Okay, I want to sort them in cities base, on city base. Can we do that? Can we do that, guys? Can we do that? Can we sort them? Okay, good. Let's go, yes. I'm going to tell you next about what comparator. Now, comparable is okay. Next, we'll start with comparator. Guys, next I'm talking about one more interface called comparator. First, I will explain the use of comparator. Look at this. Then we'll understand about difference between comparable and comparator, which is a very important question for you in an interview. Okay, it is a very important question for you in an interview. We'll understand about what's the difference between comparable and comparator. But first, we'll understand who is comparator. See, I have a question to you. This is one example we created today. In
Yes,
this,
sir.
our class implements what? Comparable. Next, here we are overriding a method called what? Compare to.
Compare to.
Okay. Next, guys. See, in this compare to method, now currently, I want to compare the salaries of employees. But in my application, in the same example, I have two requirements. One is first I want to sort them on employee numbers. One more requirement is next I also want to sort them on salaries. Did you understand my example? Did you understand the requirement first of all, not example, requirement? In the same example, in the same application, I have a requirement. I want employees on sorted on employee numbers. Next, I also want employees sorted on salaries. First, I want on employee numbers. Next, I also want on salaries. In the same application, one application only. Can we do that at a time? Can we do that at a time?
Yes.
Using this comparable, can you do that at a time? Can you tell me how to do that? Can you tell me how to do that? If that is okay, if that is allowed, or if that is possible, can you tell me how to do that? Okay, the answer is no. See, first, actually, what I did now, currently in the comparative method, I have written the logic to sort on what? Salary. Salary. Okay. If I want to, for example, sort on employee numbers, then what would I have to change the logic now? If I change the logic here, now tell me these employees can be sorted only on what? Suppose I'm changing to employee numbers now, comparing the employee numbers. Now tell me these employees can be sorted only on employee numbers. Employee numbers. Right? If this logic is modified to salaries, then these employees can be only sorted on salaries. Means at a time, they can compare only either employee numbers or salaries or experience, like that. Only one property. Did you did you understood my point? Am I clear with you? Let's see, guys. Okay, first of all, see what I'm saying is, guys, suppose there is a class name is what? Employee. Implements what? Implements comparable of employee. This is a way of writing this class. This is a way of writing this class. Okay. Here, which method we are overriding? We are overriding compare to method. Public int comparative of employee O. Here we are writing logic. Okay. This is a method. What I'm saying, if you write, for example, if you are comparing employee numbers here, you are comparing employee numbers. Then tell me these employee objects are sorted based on what? Now tell me these employees are sorted based on employee numbers.
Yes.
These employees are sorted based on employee numbers. But I cannot sort them on salaries now.
Yes.
Suppose if I change the logic here, comparing salaries. Now tell me these employees can be only sorted on salaries. Now can I sort them on employee numbers now?
No.
No. Means at a time, on how many properties we can sort these employees now?
Only one.
Only one. Only one. Yes, correct. Only one. That's why, suppose I have a requirement. What's the requirement? I want to sort in the same application, in the same program. First, I want to sort on employee numbers. Next, I want to sort on salaries. Next, I want to sort on experience. These are all requirements in one program only. So can we achieve this using comparable now? Can we achieve this by using comparable now? With comparable, we can achieve only one requirement. Because if you modify the logic here, then you cannot sort on employee numbers now. If I modify the salaries, I cannot sort on salaries now. If I modify the logic to employee numbers, I cannot sort on salaries. I can only sort on employee numbers. Because logic I have modified. At a time with one property only we can do. That's where we got one more interface called comparator. We have one more interface called what? Comparator. Comparator. Interface name is comparator. It is also a functional interface. It has one abstract method called compare. Here the method name is what? Compare to. Guys, here the method name is what? Compare to. Here method name is compare to. Here the method name is compare to. But here the method name is? Here method name is compare. It also returns same integer value only. Returns what? Integer value. Same. Compare to method also returns what? Integer value only, na? Same. This method also returns integer value. But method name is what? Compare. And comparator class, we need to write separately. We should not implement that employee class from comparator. We have to create a separate class. Understood my point? Comparator classes, separate classes you have to create. If it is comparable, you have to implement that class from comparable. It's not a separate class, na? Suppose you want to sort employee objects, then you have to implement employee class from comparable. But now comparator, you have to create separate class, not the same class. Not that Java class implements comparator. We have to create a separate class. And we have to override this method called compare. Compare is a method. And this is also called as functional interface because it contains only one abstract method. Because it contains only one abstract method. That is why it is called as which interface? It is called what? Functional interface. Because it contains only one abstract method. Same like comparable. Difference is what? You have to implement. If you want to sort the objects of a class, you have to implement that class from comparable. But if comparator, you have to get a separate class, not that class, separate class. Okay. This is what we are discussing. So how do we do that? See, for example, I'm writing public class. Okay. For example, EMP number comparator implements comparator. Of employee. Here I will override which method? Compare to method I will override. I'll override which method? Compare to. Public. Return type is int. Method name is compare. Here I will take two objects, employee O1, comma, employee O2. It takes two parameters for comparison. Here is the logic. Here I'll compare employee numbers. Okay, na? Everybody? Next, for example, let me say I want to compare salaries. Then how do you do that? Public class. Then how do you do that? Public class, public class. Class name is salary comparator. Implements comparator. Like this, you have to write. Of employee. Like this, we can create multiple classes, na? Override. Override which method? Compare method. How do you override compare method? Public. Return type is int. Method name is what? Compare. Parameters are what? Employee O1, comma, employee O2. Here what we can do? We can compare the salaries. So you understood now? Did you get this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Like this, can we create multiple classes? Now this comparator will compare employee number. This comparator will compare salaries. But is it possible with comparable means? Answer is no. Okay. Because comparable, we are not creating separate class now. That Java class should implement comparable. But here what we are creating separate class. That's why here we can compare with employee numbers. We can compare with salaries. We can compare with experience. We can compare with gender. We can compare with the names, everything. Just what we need to create is multiple classes. For example, class name can be any name. Just we take a meaningful name. This is employee numbers comparator. This is salary comparator. Next one is name comparator or experience comparator. How do you create all these classes? By implementing comparator interface. And you have to override this method. Which method you override? That's called compare method. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with
Yes,
this?
sir.
So I will start writing. I will start writing points on next interface, which is important. Comparable, comparator, both are very important in interview. Both are very important for interview, guys. For the next one we are discussing about something called as comparator interface. Comparator interface. As just now I told you, who is comparator? Comparator is a functional interface. Comparator is a functional interface. Yeah, what's the point here? It is a functional interface, which means it contains how many abstract methods, guys? Only
Only
one abstract method. That is called functional interface. Okay, correct. It is a functional interface, and it has how many abstract methods? Only one abstract method. It has only one abstract method. Who is that abstract method? That abstract method name is compare. Okay, only one abstract method called compare. Okay, I'll write like this. The abstract method is compare. Abstract method is compare. Okay, so comparator class we will get separate class, right? Okay, we know we are not going to implement that Java class from comparator. We have to create a separate comparator classes to compare the objects of of a Java class we need to create a separate class which implements comparator. Okay, for example, if we want to sort the employees, if you want to sort the employees of a list based on employee numbers and also another requirement is based on salaries. Then guys, what to do then? If you want to sort the employees of a list based on employee numbers and also another requirement is based on salaries, then what to do? Another requirement is based on salaries. Then what we need to do then? Then we have to create how many comparator classes? We have to create two. We have to create two comparator classes. Comparator classes, I mean, you have to implement the class from comparator. That is called comparator classes. Again, don't confuse now comparator written as heading interface, but you're writing class. Its meaning is comparator classes. They are called comparator classes. Am I clear? Okay, I just want to copy them. Don't confuse, okay? How many? Two classes. I want to copy this class here. And also another class, so that it will be good for you to see. Okay, na? Am I clear with the so far concept, right? The two classes are to create like this now. Okay. Now let me apply this in the our program. After that, we have a question called find the difference between comparable and comparator. Because I have given all the explanation, I'll give you a question, but answer you need to write. You just try to find out all the differences between comparable and comparator. It is a very important question. Okay, so first let me apply this. See, we are working with now, we are not working with comparable. We are working with comparators. That's why I am removing this now. Simply my class is employee. I have to remove this method also. Compare to method. Now this is just like my normal Java class only. Na? Earlier, you know, setter, getter methods, toString method, constructor, variables. This is just looking like what? It is just looking like what? My normal Java class only. It is looking like what? Normal my Java class only. Am I clear with this? Shall we continue further now? Yes. Correct? Let's go ahead, guys. Sure. We'll go. This is like normal employee class only. This is employee class. These are all variables of employee. These are called attributes. Or these are also called as properties of employee. And this is constructor. These are setter and getters. These setter getters only we have multiple. Up to this, these are all setter getters. This is the toString method. You know how to override toString method. Okay. This is my employee class. How many comparator classes I want to create? 2. 2 classes. So I wanted one more class above the main. Totally 2 more classes I want, right? What's the one class? Class EMPNO comparator implements comparator. Implements what, guys? Comparator, okay? Of employee. Yes. Which method I need to override here? Compare method. Comparator is an interface, no? Which method I need to override here? Compare method. Okay. Compare method also returns integer value. What I will write now? O1 dot get employee number minus O2 dot get employee number. Here we have 2 parameters now, O1 and O2. Means 2 employees, E1, E2, E2, E3, E3, E4, like that. Get employee number. Okay, internally what happens is, I repeat, internally what happens is, first, for example, I have 2 employees, E1 and E2. They are compared. Next, E2 and E3. They are compared. Next, E3 and E4. E4, E5. E5, E6. Like that. First time, what is O1? What is O2? First time when comparing, let us say to understand. First time O1 means E1. First time O1 means E1. E1. O2 means E2. Employee 1, employee 2. After that, next comparison, E2, E3. E2, E3 means O1 is E1, O2 is E3. Next comparison, E3, E4. Nothing but O1 is E3, O2 is E4. Like that, internally comparison takes place between the employees. Good. Next. This is one comparator, employee number comparator. Next. Okay, cool. Oh, next, I want to create one more class. Class salary comparator. Implements what? Implements comparator of employee. Here, what I will override again? Compare method I will override. Again, it override compare method only, na? Compare method. So what should I do here? Return int of, because I told earlier salaries are double values. So return type should be convert typecast to integer value. O1 dot get salary, na? O1 dot get salary minus O2 dot get salary. Have you understood this now? Everyone? O1 dot get salary minus O2 dot get salary. Am I clear? Done. Now tell me how many classes I created? 2. Like this, we created multiple also, but 2 is enough for us to discuss. Okay, 2 is enough for us to discuss. 2 is enough for us to discuss. Now, look at the example. Tell me, if I say collections dot sort of LST, now tell me this list is, okay, this list is now sorted on Employee numbers are employee salaries are. Can you tell me at line number 110? Anybody can give me reply. What is your thought? What is your thought? Whether it is sorted on employee numbers or whether they are sorted on employee salaries? What is your thought? Are they sorted on employee numbers or are they sorted on employee salaries? What is your thought? What is your thought?
Employee numbers.
No. Okay. Where did you specify? Sort on employee numbers. Where did you specify?
Both.
Both? Answer is?
Ye-
Answer is none.
Both
It is an error. Line number 110, you are getting an error. Because you called sort method, but you are not telling the sort method whether you want to sort on employee numbers or you want to sort on salaries, because you have two comparators. One comparator will sort on employee numbers, other comparator will sort on salaries, but you are not telling anything to the sort method. That's why now this time you have to call sort method with the two parameters. Second parameter is, for example, new EMPNO comparator. New means object, na? It's a class, right? For a class we create an object. EMPNO comparator, one class we created. We have created one class called EMPNO comparator. Yes. Tell me what's the second parameter I'm passing? Object, comparator object. This is called what object? Comparator object, right? It's a comparator object only, na? It's an object of type comparator. What's the class name? What's the class name? EMPNO comparator. How to create object for this class? New, na? So I'm using new. New is a keyword for creating object. Now tell me what the sort method will do.
It will sort it based on the employee number.
Yes, yes. It will sort the list based on employee numbers. It will sort the list based on employee numbers. It will use this comparator for sorting. Which comparator object you will use for sorting? I have two classes, na? One is employee number comparator class, another one is salary comparator class. Which class object it will use for comparing? Employee number comparator. Correct? Once again. System.out.println line separator. Line separator. Can you tell me now how to sort now? System.out.println. Okay. System.out.println employees after sorting on salaries. Can you tell me? Again, I want this line separator. I have a question. Can you guys tell me how to tell the collections.sort method? How can I tell the sort method that now you sort on salaries? How can I tell the sort method that you sort on salaries? Can you tell me how to tell that?
By creating object of employee salary comparator.
Yes, exactly. By passing that, right? So tell me what's the next statement again I would write here. Very good. Collections. Dot collections is a class I told. Sort is a method of LST comma new salary comparator. Did you understand the difference between line number 110 and line number 121? Please observe. Or line number 110, line number 122. What line number 110 will do?
Employee number.
Line number 110, what it will do? Line 110. What will it do? Line number 110, what will it do?
Sort it based on employee number.
Yes, it will sort based on numbers. It will sort based on numbers. What line number? What line number?
110.
122 will do. Line number 122, what it will do?
Based on salaries.
Based on
Based on
salary.
salaries.
Yes,
Based
based
on
on salaries. So I want to again write for each loop. Just
Yes.
want to copy this. Display those employees now. Am I clear? Am I clear? Did you understand this? Everyone? Okay. Tell me, line number 110 is sorting on employee numbers. Line number 122 is sorting on salaries.
Salary.
How it is possible in the same program? With a comparable, can we do that?
No.
No.
Yes.
With a comparable, we cannot do that. But we can do it with
Comparator.
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 Comparator. Both are interfaces only. Comparable is also interface. Compared to is also, sorry, comparator is also
Yes.
interface. Comparable and comparator both are functional interfaces. They have only
Interface.
one abstract method. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Done. Done. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead. We'll see. Let's run. Now see the output here. Two outputs we got. For the first output, employees after sorting an employee number. See first 1211, 1433, last 3217. All these employees output is what based on sorted based on. These employees are sorted based on employee numbers. Now these employees are sorted based on salaries from 4,000 to 9,000. From 4,000 to 9,000. Okay. So this is how you guys need to know. This is how very important, guys. This is how you guys need to know about how to work with comparable, how to work with comparator. Okay. Did you observe this output now? First output is what? Sorted on employee numbers. Second output is what? Sorted on salaries. How can I achieve this in single application? In one application, sometimes I want to sort on employee numbers.
By using
Comparator.
comparator.
By using comparator.
Comparator interface.
Yes. By using comparator interface, we can achieve this. Yes. By using comparable, can we achieve this?
No.
No. We can only sort based on one property, right?
Yes.
But we cannot sort on multiple properties. If you want to do sorting with based on multiple properties, then we must use
Comparator
Comparator.
interface.
comparator. Am I clear with this? Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So what I'm trying to ask you is, you please write your own difference between comparable, comparator. You refer, but write answer for this. Try to learn the answer by yourself. Difference between comparable and comparator. I'll write a question. Okay. But first, let me write example code here. I want to copy the example code for you. And I want to give comment here. Sorting them on employee numbers and also sorting them on salaries using comparator interface. The example, you practice all the examples to get more information, to get everything. Okay, right? You got the program here. You got the program on the two things. First one is based on program is to demonstrate based on employee comparable. Second one is based on comparator. Am I clear? That's how we got here, correct? That's how we got here. That's how we got the code here. So this is all what we discussed in the class today, right? Next. We are done. So what's the question here? This is a very important question. Please try to write your own answer here. And I'm writing only the question. I'm writing only the question, guys. Please try to Write your own answer for this question. The question is,
Difference between comparable and
yeah.
comparative.
What is the
interfaces.
difference? What is the difference between? What is the difference between comparable and comparator? Comparable and comparator interfaces. What is the difference between comparable and comparator interfaces? Okay, please try to find answer for this. I already told, but you need to write them like a points. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Cool. Next. We'll go ahead. So far, whatever we have discussed about collection, that is all list type. Means we discussed about array list class. We'll discuss about linked list class. We discuss about vector class, stack program, and we have discussed about how to sort the elements of array list. If you know how to sort the elements of a list, it is applicable for both array list, linked list, and vector all. See, I have given programs on array list, right? But in place of array list, if you use linked list, it becomes program on linked list. How to sort the elements of linked list? How can you sort the elements of a linked list object?
Collections dot sort.
Collections dot sort. Same, na? Same concept. You have to use either comparable or comparator. You have to sort based on same using sort method, collections dot sort. Instead of array list object, you pass linked list object. Okay, that's why
Yes, sir.
again we are not discussing sorting linked list object. Sorting array list is nothing but sorting linked list. It's the same process.
Okay. Can you make department-wise salaries, sum of salary?
Sorry.
Department-wise sum of salary.
No, it is not a SQL query to write. Okay. It is not a SQL query. Now you are asking about a query like SQL. Right. For that, again, we have tried manual logic by creating a method. If you want to do any task, you need to go for a method, right? Sum of salaries, department-wise, average of salaries. That is SQL queries you have to learn. Okay. Of course, in Java, if you want to do that, we can do it. But create a method, take one by one employee. Okay. Then take the department number. If the department numbers are matching, sum the salaries of them, and count how many employees are working in the department divided by that many number of employees. It's a manual logic. We don't have any some method like that. It is not like a SQL query.
Can
Okay.
you do for this?
You do it, na? You do it by yourself. Okay. You create a method. I'm giving you the logic, right? You do it. Create a method. In that method, I don't have an actual department number in my employee as of now in this program. If you want, you create one more employee class. In that, you take department number also as one more property of employee number, name, salary, department number, like that. Then you have to create a method. First, sort all the employees based on department numbers. Then you will get a list. Then read one by one employee. Take the department number, where department number is equal 20, department equal 30, like that will be there. Now that's why first take the department number, then sum the salaries, then divided by that many number of employees. That many number of employees means count. First you count in the 10th department how many employees are there. In the 20th department how many employees are there. The 30th department how many employees are there. Right. Okay. So like that, we need to write a manual logic. It's going to be a big logic. I mean, big logic in the sense either we can define in one method or multiple methods, but we have to write some logic. It's not directly like SQL query. Okay. Right. If it is Java 8 features, I can tell that's possible with Java 8 because we have directly filter method and we have even sum method, summing. That is in Java 8 we have by already given methods. I mean predefined methods. But as of now we are not in Java 8, so we need to write manual logic. Okay. Otherwise, we'll see in Java 8 how we can do for your requirement. That will do in Java 8 next after these collections.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, we'll go ahead. So far we discussed about list, guys. Next we'll go to the set. As we know, list is an interface, set is an interface, and queue is an interface. These three comes under sub interfaces of collection. These are our collection interfaces. List we completed so far: array list, linked list, vector, and all these things. Next, we need to start with a concept called set interface. So first we'll understand how we can differentiate the list and set. Okay. First understand about how we can differentiate the list and set interface. Then we will discuss about classes called a hash set, linked hash set, and a tree set. Three classes we need to discuss: hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. So first understand about set interface. Set as implementation classes. See, that's why I told you this diagram is important. The diagram is on top. This diagram is very, very important. Always you have to keep this diagram in the mind. Where is the diagram? Yeah, here I'm going to get the diagram. These are all collections topic only. So many pages of collections we got so far. Yeah, this is the diagram. So far we completed list part, right? Next, our intention is what we have to start with the set part. Set interface, which has classes like hash set, linked hash set. Then we have tree set. I'm talking about classes now. Set is an interface which extends collection interface. So collection interface are mainly three: list, set, queue. These are all collection interfaces: list, set, and queue. So far we discussed about this part. List part is over. Now we have to say set part. While discussing about set, internally set uses map. Almost map is covered here only. Of course, I'll also cover separately, but almost majority of the map concept will be covered in set only. Then queue. Okay. So we are now going to look at about set interface. List and a set having a difference. Okay. You take any set, either hash set or linked hash set, tree set, anyone, they don't allow duplicate values. If you take any list like array list or linked list or vector, they allow duplicates. Duplicate elements are accepted here in list, but in set, duplicate elements are not accepted. And if you take a list, you have index. First element has index 0. Second element index is 1. Third element index is 2. 0 based index. Correct? Okay. If you want to get the third element from list, how do you get the third element from list? Can you tell me? Suppose I want to get the third element from an array list object. Can you tell me how to get the third element from array list object?
Based on index 2.
Based on index. What's the method to get the element from the list?
Dot get.
Get. For example, I'm writing array list dot get of 2. 2 is the index.
Dex.
Third element index. But can I execute that same operation on set now? Maybe it is a hash set or linked hash set object or tree set object. Can I execute this type of operation based on index? Answer is no. Because in a list, we call list as ordered collection. Ordered collection, I mean elements have indexes. But set is unordered collection, which means they don't have index. Unordered collection. What does it mean? Ordered collection means index is available for elements. But unordered collection means the element does not have no index. Okay. Anyhow, I want to stop here because we'll freshly start this set concept tomorrow. But what's the next topic that we are going to discuss is set. Tomorrow we'll discuss about how hash set works. First, I'll talk about set interface and the methods in set interface. Then next we'll start with hash set class. Okay. While discussing about hash set class, internally hash set uses hash map object. So I'm also going to explain about hash map. So if you know hash set, you will get hash map. Linked hash set, linked hash map. Tree set, tree map. internally they use those objects. Almost map concept also covered here, but additionally map concepts I'll again cover separately. Okay, additional things I'll cover again separately. Am I clear with you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we'll continue tomorrow, folks. Tomorrow we'll start with this concept. So today I will share the notes with you later. Go through those examples, try to find the difference between comparator and comparable, and practice those examples. Tomorrow we'll start with set. Okay,
Okay, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.